and welcome to another special episode here on Viking.TV with me, Anne Diamond. And I've got some very special friends, yes I have, because I'm here at a place which is actually the largest breeder and trainer of guide dogs in the world. Have a look at them. They're absolutely gorgeous, but it's the most amazing story of this organisation in the Midlands of England, and it's been going for about 90 years and is responsible for something like 1,300 puppies every year. But they've had a few problems with the pandemic, which meant that they had to pause their breeding programme for a while. Things are getting back in business, though, now, as you can tell. Let me tell you their story. So Helen, this amazing place is the largest organisation that breeds and trains guide dogs in the world?
Yeah, so we're actually at the place that's the largest breeder of assistance dogs in the world and largest trainer of guide dogs in the world, so here in the UK.
I mean, that in itself is an astonishing feat. How many dogs, then, are you responsible for at the moment, for instance?
At the moment, we've got about 7,000 dogs that we're responsible for. So 4,000 working dogs, sort of 1,000, well, nearly 2,000 puppies. And then, of course, we've got our mums and dads. Actually, we have a buddy dog service for kids as well. So we've got lots of dogs all over the UK that we care for, nurture, and are doing amazing jobs.
Well, yes, and these two gorgeous puppies are, 8 weeks old now?
Yes, so they've just come from their mum. So they've actually started their lives in one of our amazing volunteers' homes. So our volunteers actually care for our guide dog mums and dads. And those that are caring for one of our guide dog mums will raise our puppies for us in their home for the first 7 weeks. And then they come here to our national centre.
One day, if these work hard, they will actually be grown-up guide dogs, helping people, they make, you say a lot of it, they're life changers, aren't they, to people?
Absolutely, these are little furry life changers. So they very much help people with sight loss live the life they want and the life they choose. So it's all about improving confidence, mobility, and it's that companionship as well, because dogs are amazing.
Yes, and they are absolutely gorgeous as well. Yes, you are, you're beautiful. So who are they?
So this little girl is Autumn and her brother is Forest.
They've got a journey ahead of them, quite a journey. But before we talk about the journey, what about the history of this place? How did it all start?
Well, actually guide dogs, as in the actual working dogs, started after the World War, where somebody noticed that their dogs were naturally guiding people. And so this was something that was developed. We're actually the second oldest guide dog school in the world. One in America beat us by 1 year.
Oh dear.
But we're actually recently celebrated our 90th anniversary. So
wow.
We're 92 at the moment. But yeah, we recently celebrated our 90th anniversary. So we've been raising, training, nurturing these dogs and partnering them with people for almost 100 years.
That's incredible, isn't it? I mean, it'll be quite an anniversary when the 100 comes.
Yeah.
And these dogs, by then, you'll be big and you'll be actually guiding somebody, won't you?
Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. How did COVID affect you, though? Because I know that's caused quite a problem for you.
Absolutely. So obviously we are completely reliant on volunteers. They're the lifeblood for us. But unfortunately, during COVID, we had a downturn after that in volunteers. So we actually lost quite a lot of volunteers because people just wanted a break. It was a very difficult time. So we had to look at recruiting huge numbers of volunteers to help us raise these fantastic little puppies. And people did answer our call, and we're really grateful for that. In addition, actually, we had to, for the first time in our, as I said, 92-year history, have to pause our breeding programme. So we actually reduced the production of our puppies from about 1,300 a year to just around 400 that year.
You normally produce about 1,300 puppies a year?
Roughly, yes, pre-COVID.
Incredible, isn't it? And yes, I can see, because any delay in that, pausing it, for how long did you have to pause?
So we paused on and off for about 6 months for absolutely the right reasons. We needed to keep our people safe. We also knew that actually from a socialisation of puppies perspective, obviously it was a very different environment that they'd be going into, so it was the responsible and ethical thing to do. However, that obviously these little guys, it'll take almost 2 years for you to go and be a guide dog. So that has had a lasting impact on us in terms of our dog numbers. Thankfully, we are now recovering. And as I said, thanks to the amazing support from the public who have volunteered with us and helped us raise these puppies, we're now getting very close back to that 1,300.
That's brilliant. Wow.
So, yeah.
But I mean, you need volunteers so much, don't you? I mean, they're the lifeblood of this organisation.
Absolutely. We couldn't do what we do at Guide Dogs without our volunteers. So that's everything from looking after the guide dog mums and these little puppies in the nest, our fantastic puppy raisers who take these little balls of fur and socialise them, get them used to all the different things that they'll experience as a grown-up
that's
dog.
the journey.
Yeah.
That's the journey. And I want to talk about the journey because the journey clearly starts with conception, frankly, mating.
Yes.
And what I can't get over is that you have all of this, it's scientifically worked out as well.
Absolutely. There is a huge amount of work that goes into us understanding the best match. So the best mums and dads to put together to make sure every generation of guide dog that we produce has the absolute highest potential of being successful and is really healthy and actually really thrives within the guide dog role.
She's just doing the hoovering.
Yeah, she's cleaning up for us.
Absolutely. So once you've decided, right, we've got male dogs and female dogs who know what's expected of them.
Yes.
Then the next step is obviously making sure that there has been a conception, that the mother dog is pregnant. And you even do ultra scanning and things to find out how many puppies she's expecting.
We do. So we will follow that brood very closely, so the guide dog mum really closely. We will scan her, so we'll know when she should approximately be able to show us. So we will actually do an ultrasound scan, and we're very lucky to work with some of the experts in the world. So the University of Nottingham have the world expertise in canine reproduction. So we're very lucky to be able to call on that expertise. And assuming the conception has gone well, and actually we've got an over 95% success rate with that. So
wow.
Most of the time they go well. We can then get a bit of an estimate of how many puppies we expect. On average, it's about 7 a litter, but there is a big range there. So we sometimes might have a smaller litter of 1 or 2, or we can have slightly bigger litters of sort of 11, 12. But the average is about 7.
7,
so,
gosh, that's still a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
See, that stage, you've already talking about the humans who have to...
phone. Sorry.
Don't eat my phone. Don't eat my phone. That we've already sort of just talking about that means that there's a mother dog and a father dog, and they have to be looked after. They have homes.
Absolutely. Yes, so they live, all the volunteers that work with our breeding programme live approximately an hour away from our national centre here in Leamington Spa, and they will take a dog, so like these little guys when they're about 12 months old, so sort of coming towards adulthood, into their home, and that dog lives with them usually the whole of their reproductive career, and actually even when they retire they tend to stay with that family, which is really lovely. And those volunteers are amazing. They bring the dogs in when we need to see them, and as I said, the ones with the guide dog mums have these little balls of fur in their home for 7 weeks as they grow, and they actually will whelp her, so she'll give birth in the home.
That's
with her
what
family.
you like. You
yes,
prefer
ideally.
it all to be done at home, because the whole point, I guess, for these dogs is that they are social. Their family used to people.
Absolutely, because if you think about a working guide dog, a lot of the time they'll be going into environments that maybe a lot of pet dogs don't actually go into either. So they're going to be in the human world. And for dogs, the human world's a little bit weird and a bit different for them. So right from birth, right from when they're born, we want them in that family environment. We want them experiencing things like a toilet flushing, like the TV being on, phones ringing, lots of different people, kids, older adults. So all of that is really, really important, and we want them to experience that in a really positive way as well, because some of the research that we've done has actually shown if we can make sure they have really positive associations as a puppy, they're much more likely to be able to problem solve, have that confidence that we need for an adult working dog.
Gosh. So we've gone to the stage of actually having the puppies at home.
Yes.
But at, 8 weeks-ish?
Yeah, they will come here to our national centre. So all our puppies will actually come through our national centre. And when they come here, they get to be vaccinated, microchipped, we have a bit of a health check, they meet our centre vet. We also can make sure that we give them some extra socialisation. So the whole week they're in rooms like this, but also we've got lots of runs outside where they can be with a person, with their litter, having a good time when they come to visit us here.
Is this why we're wearing scrubs?
Yes, so obviously we've got multiple multiple litters on site, and we have to make sure that we're bioprotection, making sure they're up to mischief over there. So just making sure that we are keeping our puppies as safe as possible when they come to visit us here. So yeah.
So, and then what happens, for instance, to these two? What's the next stage of their journey?
Autumn and Forest will be off to their puppy raises. So actually we're incredibly grateful for the amazing families that take in our puppies at this age and will expose them to lots of different things in their environment. So they take them out on public transport, out to cafes, some people take them to work. And there's lots of different things that our puppies will experience. And it's all those things that they'll experience as an adult dog. So our puppy raisers do an unbelievably good job of turning these little amazing balls of fluff into pure potential for our professional trainers to then do the guide dog work with them. So.
What a lot of people can't quite get their heads around is that you bring a puppy into your home for 9-10 months, and you love it and you invest in it, and at some point you have to give it back to you.
Absolutely, and it is really hard. It is an emotional, I mean, the amount of care, love and just nurture that goes into their puppies is amazing, and I think our volunteers are fantastic and are selfless in how they can do it. And actually we have some volunteers who have raised sort of 20-30 puppies for us. They do it multiple times, and it is fantastic, and they follow them through training and they get such pride in seeing those dogs qualify and actually go on to change the lives of people with sight loss.
Do you get to know them individually?
We do. The people that work with them. Obviously, I'm based here at the National Centre.
I can't think of how many you must have had.
Absolutely. So members of staff, we do get very attached to some of them. Particularly, we'll have sort of stud dogs that maybe we know very well, breeding dogs we know very well. They're in. I have some dogs in my office that come and visit us at the National Centre. So we do get to know them, and they all have their own little personalities, don't they? I mean, how could you not?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, okay, now what stage of the journey are we at now? We're with the puppy raisers.
Yes.
And the puppy raisers have loved this puppy,
absolutely,
socialised it, got invested in it, absolutely adored it, and at some stage give it back to you.
It has to go off to big school now.
What's big school?
So this is where our amazing puppy raisers have done a great job, and our dogs are ready to enter formal training with one of our guide dog trainers. So that's when they will learn sort of very formal guide dog behaviour, so guiding behaviour. So this is when we kind of take that amazing work that all the volunteers have done, right from the family that look after the mums, the puppy raisers, everyone here at the National Centre, all our puppy raising staff, and they turn that puppy into a guide dog, a working guide dog.
But that big school is day school, isn't it?
Yes.
So you have to have, another army of volunteers who look after the dog in the evenings and at weekends.
So yes, so we have fosterer volunteers. So our fosterer volunteers, as you say, it's like dropping your kid off. You drop your kid off in the morning, you pick your kid up in the evening, during the week, Monday to Friday, and otherwise that dog is living again in a family. So they're living with those people. They spend the weekends with them. They spend the evenings with them. So we have slightly different demographic that tend to do that. It tends to be people that are commuting and things like that, and it gives people a real opportunity to contribute to what we do and also have one of these amazing dogs in their home.
Yeah, it's actually ideal for people who maybe work themselves and feel they can't have a dog because they wouldn't want to leave a dog alone all day.
Exactly. So our dogs come in, they go to work just like you would go to work, and they learn all the different training behaviours that they need to learn, and then they come home to chill out in the evenings with the family.
That's it. Are they tired when they get home in the evenings, like children would be?
So they will have been sort of mentally stimulated. So I mean, obviously they're still quite young dogs, so they're still enjoying it. But yes, so it is very much about R&R, rest and relaxation for them in the evenings and at weekends.
And ordinary weekends. But during the day, at big school, they are doing the formal training.
Formal training with a formal guide dog trainer.
I can't even imagine how difficult that must be. How do you teach a dog where the edge of a pavement is, a curve? How do you teach a dog that?
So all of our training methods are based on something called positive reinforcement training. So we have... I'm distracted.
Positive reinforcement around it.
So everything we do is based on positive reinforcement training. So we reward the behaviours that we want to see in our dogs, and we ignore the behaviours that we don't want to see in the dogs. The idea being that as you reward those behaviours, they're more likely to occur. So all our trainers will look at what motivates that individual dog. For some dogs, that is of course food, particularly when you're dealing with a Labrador breed. But actually, it can also be play. It can be praise. It can be reward. So there's a series of steps steps that our professional trainers will go through in order to get that dog to the position that it needs to be, where it has the basic skills of guiding. The next stage, or am I getting too far ahead?
You're the expert.
The next stage is then what we would say is the kind of the matching with a person with sight loss. So that is our guide dog mobility specialists. So these are people that are able to match a dog with a person and try and find that perfect match where not only will they provide the great working behaviours that we need in a dog, so it could be depending on where you live, your environment, what you're doing, if you're going to work every day, for example, versus if you're maybe only going down to the shops once a day, or if you're a student at college, for example. It's a very different type of dog that you might be looking for, both in terms of the work that you'd be asking the dog to do, but also in terms of that relationship that you might have with the dog. So it might be, it's kind of that art of understanding both person and dog and trying to put them together.
That's what I find fascinating, is that you're not just about dogs here,
Absolutely
are you?
not.
And I don't know why I hadn't really thought of that before, but you just imagine you train a dog and then you give it to somebody who needs that sort of help.
So for
But
us,
it's just not like that, is it?
For us, it's very much a partnership at all stages of the dog journey. So whether that's a partnership between a volunteer and a dog as they're socialising a puppy and getting a puppy used to the big world, or the partnership between a guide dog owner and their dog working together out in the environment, living both the life they choose and hopefully being happy and healthy as they do it.
And you've got to pair those people together. So at some stage, I imagine your trainers assess the personality of the dog they've been training.
So it's not as formal as assessing the personality, but absolutely our guide dog trainers, but also our guide dog mobility specialists get to know our dogs. They really know our dogs. They're spending a lot of time with our dogs. So they know their likes, their dislikes, what they're like as an individual. And then obviously they know our customers as well, so our guide dog owners as well. So they can have that sort of, I guess, matchmaker aspect to it as well, because it's really important that not only does the working kind of partnership work well, but also that you're going to be living with this dog. You're going to have a relationship with this dog. So it is important that you get on together as well. So yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing when they're trained, what they can do. It's astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, I've been working at guide dogs 12 plus years now, and I'm still, anytime I see a working partnership out there, I'm still in awe of what that partnership has been able to do.
And that's another stage of the journey, I suppose, is once you have matched somebody, and they have both of them as a partnership now have to go into training and learn how to walk with each other and be.
So there is a sort of aspects to that where we will work with the dog and the person, make sure that the match is settled. We'll do lots and lots of different routes with them, and then we'll slowly build to qualification of that partnership. And even then, that's just the start of the journey, really. We will continue to support that partnership throughout its lifetime. So right up until the dog retires, we'll constantly be working with that partnership with the guide dog owner, making sure the dog is healthy, fit, happy, and making sure the working quality still works the whole way through.
That's an interesting concept again, a dog retiring. How does the dog say, oh, I've had enough now?
So it's very much about the individual dog. So our staff are very, very good, again, at knowing our dogs, about knowing the partnerships that they work with. We have a whole range of dog health and wellbeing specialists as well who work with us with our dogs to make sure that our dogs are as healthy as they can be. So there's lots and lots of different work that goes in. So towards those older ages in the partnership, we'll be seeing those people a lot more, and actually we can use that individual approach to say, is the working quality still there? Is the dog kind of the right fitness? And we can kind of make that decision as and when we need to.
I presume sometimes the owner, do you call them owners?
Oh, we do call them guide dog owners,
The guide dog owner, at some stage may actually sense that the dog is getting a bit older and not so willing to go out, or I don't know.
And I mean, they can slow down as well. Sorry, they're having a little tussle in there, brother and sister, isn't it? Come on, pups.
Oh, they're lovely.
Come on.
Yeah, tell me more about the concept of retirement and the guide dog owner sensing maybe that now is the time.
They can do, and they can report that to us. We'll also ensure that we're out watching the partnership to see how it's progressing. There's vet checks as well. Obviously, we have our specialists and dog health that go out as well. Sorry, I might just go make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
It was the girl that's causing the trouble. There we go.
It must be heartbreaking, though, for a guide dog owner who's relied on that dog for 8-9 years, maybe more. to know that relationship is going to come to an end of some sort. So what do you do then?
Absolutely. So it is a difficult time. It's always going to be a loss for people, and it is an area that we're actually doing quite a lot of research into to understand how we can best support people through that process and look at sort of options. We do have, if you're looking to get another guide dog, we can put you on a sort of waiting list for that, but also we have other then support options that we can provide in the interim. So we've got lots of other services that we offer at Guide Dogs. So we have sighted guiding, which is where you can have a human partner help you and kind of take you on different routes so you can learn different routes. We also support with vision rehabilitation specialists, so we can sort of support people with life skills that they might need during that interim period.
Yeah, so what happens to the retiring dog?
So sometimes the guide dog owner will actually have the dog as a pet dog following, so they'll
keep
actually
them as a pet.
adopt them. Not all the time, but sometimes there is the option that they could do that. Sometimes they go and live with a family friend as well, so they still have the contact with the guide dog owner, but the dog actually is living with a friend. If not, we are committed to that dog for its lifetime, so we will find it a great retirement home where it can go and
wow.
yeah.
So there are people, again, volunteers who take on
people who will rehome
dog.
one of our guide dogs, yes, our retired guide dogs. So yeah.
Yeah, it is a journey, an incredible journey for
Absolutely.
these dogs. But I mean, cute and gorgeous as they are now, and of course you'll remain gorgeous, won't you? They are working dogs. They work.
Absolutely. So they
deserve a retirement at the end of a working life.
Actually, for a lot of our dogs, they really enjoy the work. So it's not so much retirement that we would think of as a person. Not that we don't enjoy our jobs as well. I mean, look at this job. I couldn't say no to this. But actually, it's just a bit of a different change in lifestyle.
Yes.
So we call it a retirement, but that just means actually that they've stopped doing the guiding role. But actually, a lot of them really enjoy that guiding role. If you think about it, they're out with their person every day. They get to go into lots of different environments. So it's not a similar retirement to people. It's a little bit different for them, I think.
So do you get some instances where the retired dog stays on as a pet and the guide dog owner gets another guide dog?
Absolutely, if that's suitable for that environment. And again, we would have to make sure that that works for both the individual, but also the dogs involved. But absolutely, there are people that will have their retired guide dog at home and they have a new guide dog that they go out to work with. Yeah,
because it is it's a real relationship.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah,
it's a love relationship.
Brilliant. Yeah.
How did you get into this?
So I originally was studying animal behaviour. So I was doing a PhD in animal behaviour. And so I came to Guide Dogs on a 9-month contract to study puppy behaviour. And sort of 12 years later, I'm still here.
Funny that, isn't it? Because you hear so many stories, and I have heard people who just say, oh, I fancy what we used to call puppy walking. You call puppy raising now. Fancy a bit of that. But they seem to get completely drawn into the whole fabric of this organisation.
It absolutely is. I mean, Guide Dogs, it really gets under your skin. The dogs are amazing. The people, though, are absolutely amazing. At all stages of that guide dog journey are absolutely amazing. And it's a real honour to be part of Guide Dogs. I mean, as I said, we've been here for over 90 years, and to just be part of that 90-year journey for the time that I can be is absolutely phenomenal. And coming to work every day with these little guys is fantastic.
It's fascinating that you came in from an academic world, actually, to look at these puppies academically. And you stayed, as you say. But everything you do here, everything you do, from breeding the puppies to raising them to the interaction with humans, must contribute to worldwide research.
Absolutely. We're incredibly lucky here at Guide Dogs UK in that we have our own science team as well. And so we're able to actually follow our dogs throughout their entire lives to really do some sort of cutting edge science, as I say, to better understand our dogs' personalities, better understand how we can make them happier, healthier as they grow up, whether that be breeding, whether that be training. And actually, we work with academics and scientists all over the world. So we're really lucky that we can do that. And actually, it's one of our goals within our science team is to actually share that knowledge for the benefit of dogs everywhere, because a lot of what we learn about Labradors and Golden Retrievers is applicable to everybody, not just working dogs and not just guide dogs. So it's really important to us that we share that knowledge. And as I said, we've got 90 years of doing this, so the experience and knowledge that we've gained and our technical staff have is phenomenal. So being able to share that internationally with other working dog organisations, but as I said, even the pet dog population, it is really great to be able to share what we've learned.
Yes, I mean, one of the things as well is about the breeds. I mean, this breed is is a...
So this is a cross. So I think their mum was a golden retriever and dad was a Labrador.
Are there particular breeds then that make better guide dogs?
So the most common that you will see out working is one of these guys actually.
Yeah.
So it's a Labrador cross golden retriever, and we found that just that mix of temperament traits just really suits assistance dog work. And actually, it's not just guide dogs that tend to be this breed. Quite a lot of other assistance dog organisations will tend to use the Labrador or the Labrador cross golden retriever. Just that combination of really good traits really makes for a good assistance dog.
Does every dog succeed in becoming a guide dog? I mean,
No.
is there like an exam at the end of big school?
There's not an exam as such, but no, and just like people, not every dog is suited to a specific career. So what we will do is we assess our dogs throughout their entire time with us. So that's either our expert staff looking at it, it could be data we collect on the dog. And actually, if we decide that, you know what, the dog is telling us this isn't the career for them, we will actually look at an alternative career. So at guide dogs, we have a service called buddy dogs. So our buddy dogs are dogs that have decided they don't want to be a full guide dog,
right,
but they actually go and live with a family with a child with sight loss. And it's about providing companionship, confidence and independence to that child with sight loss without it being a full guide dog or assistance dog. But it's a really lovely service that our dogs who maybe don't want to do the full guiding role.
They've made that plain, haven't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
So they choose to potentially have a different career. Alternatively, we also work with other assistance dog organisations. So a dog for us that might not be suitable to be a guide dog could potentially work in another assistance dog organisation. So we will work with collaborators across the UK as well.
Medical detection dogs.
We did. So we sent a couple of dogs to them for their COVID trial as well. So a few of those came from guide dogs. We've also worked with medical detection dogs. We kind of collaborate on a breeding perspective as well with a lot of different assistance dog organisations. So we'll kind of share puppies and sort of ensure that genetic diversity exists across the assistance dog organisations.
So some of your dogs then, some of your dog graduates,
Yeah.
or maybe didn't quite graduate, have become COVID sniffers.
There was a couple, I can't remember their names now, but there was a couple of dogs that we provided or supplied to medical detection dogs when they were doing, at the height of COVID, when they were doing the trials into COVID detection. So actually having a high sniff drive probably isn't the best to be a guide dog, because actually what we want is that dog walking in front and guiding
In fact,
somebody.
you deliberately train them not to be deflected by other things,
Whereas
distracted.
if you're a very kind of sniff orientated or nose orientated dog, actually a career medical detection is probably a better one. So actually we have had dogs that have been very successful at medical detection, and including a couple of the COVID dogs.
When you look at them now, and that beautiful puppy that you're stroking now, do you think we don't fully understand the potential of dogs yet?
Personally, absolutely. I think we've only just scratched the surface of what our dogs are telling us, and the science on dogs has just exploded recently, and our understanding of dogs is exploding in terms of what we can learn from them and about them, and I think actually it will continue to grow as we learn a little bit more. But yeah, as I say, I think the potential for dogs and their unique relationship with us is really special. There we go, settling down now when I'm talking nice things about you. Is really special, and I think science hasn't fully understood their full potential yet.
And that's a lovely note to end on, isn't it?
Now let's just carry on.
Most people are absolutely in wonder of the volunteers who help bring up their guide dogs through all these various stages that we've been learning about. And the one thing that comes up time and again is how, when you've spent a year loving them and raising them and investing in them and then being part of your family, how you could ever give them back. But that's what you have to do. And Jane is with me here, and this is how you started your whole relationship with guide dogs, because you were a puppy raiser.
Yes, I was. And I did, the first puppy that I raised up to be 1 year old, and she went off to be a fantastic guide dog, which I was incredibly proud of.
How did you give her that?
It was really hard. In fact, but I was so prepared for it, because she came to me to do that task from the moment I had her. I knew she was going to be a guide dog, and all the things I did with her, training her, were to get her to that point. So on the day when they said, yes, she's ready, we're going to come and collect her, I was okay. I mean, I was proud of her.
They come to your house to
and
collect.
My puppy raising advisor came,
Yeah.
who had been supporting me through the whole process of training her, and I was prepared for it. A bit like when your child goes to university, you know, you want them to launch into what they've been trained to do. But both my husband and my daughter were crying.
I'll bet.
They hadn't really got it in their heads what was going to happen.
Well, no, because you get to love them. They're part of
do
the
love
family.
them.
That's your job, to make them part of your family.
It
but
is.
to give them
Yes,
up.
that is part of it. But
Do you ever hear about her? What
yes,
happened next?
I mean, I did hear. You hear officially through guide dogs, and also you can write informally, and the guide dog owner can choose whether to get in touch with you or not. That's their choice. But if you're lucky, then you do hear.
So do you get a picture of their graduation?
You do actually, yes.
Do
and you
you?
get a big one, and I feel very proud
know.
of it.
Well,
To have trained a dog to
They
reach
come
that
to you
point.
as a puppy, and then you see this picture of them all grown up.
It's exactly like that.
That must be absolutely heartbreaking, but also heartwarming.
It is heartwarming, and it's so worth it because as you learn more about guide dogs, you realise how much it means to someone to have their own guide dog. So just having the pleasure of them for the first year.
So
is-
did you
is
get
enough.
another puppy to raise?
Yes. And actually, the big hole in your heart is slightly filled when along comes another one. So
Now,
Harris,
she's got an interesting story. This is Abby.
yes.
And look, you can see, it says on her lead, guide dog mum. Now, what's that?
Well, Abby came to me for puppy raising with a stamp on her paperwork saying that she was prospective breeding dog, which means she's been earmarked as one of the very most special creme de la creme, pure Labrador.
She's got great
She
genes.
might be the one.
Yeah.
So they watched her quite carefully as she went through her training, and when she got to a year old and that moment came, she was assessed here first to see if she had everything perfect physically, perfect nature for training, that she'd taken on all the things we'd been trying to teach her. And of course she did, and they chose to keep her back as part of our breeding programme.
So
and
did
luckily,
she come to you? Yes, what happened?
well, I'd been raising her and I live very near this centre. Luckily, if you live near enough to the centre, you're in a position to look after one of those breeding dog mums. So I was able to say, well, I'll have her back then. So
you had her back to come and live with you, which must have been marvellous for you.
Oh, it was lovely.
But that's a heck of a responsibility because you know that she is going to be bred from.
Yes, but there's a lot of support when that event happens from experts that work here. So, in fact, it's not too difficult at a moment, and it's just a pleasure to have such a lovely dog. Most of the time, she's my pet now.
Yeah, yes, you clever girl. I mean, what was it like then, that first puppy breeding saga?
I mean, it was quite a stressful evening, but you know, you're given all the information about what's going to happen, and then
Because they
obviously
like
in
it.
the middle of the night, you realise that's when it's going to be. So I've been setting my alarm in the night a few times to find out if it was then. But then along came the day. She starts panting. You're looking for the behaviours. You can see it. It all starts at 8 o'clock in the evening, and then at midnight, puppies start arriving.
It sounds like that scene from 101 Dalmatians, doesn't it? How many puppies?
She had 8 on her first litter.
8?
Yes, and those are now just fully trained as guide dogs. 2 of them have qualified.
Oh,
So
my
I'm very, very
goodness.
proud of them.
Yeah, so you've actually got a double pride in it, haven't
Yes,
you?
that's right.
So,
No, that she can
will she have
contribute.
another litter? Has she had another
She has
litter?
had another litter. They're little ones, and they're at the breeding centre at the moment. So her second litter are now September, October, November, 3 months old.
3 months old. Why are they here then?
All the puppies come here at 8 weeks old and spend a week having their vaccinations and being checked, and then they get allocated to their puppy raisers. And the puppy raisers can be anywhere in the UK.
But that means that when she had her first 8, you have to have them at home for 8 weeks.
Yes.
8 puppies, 1 mother dog, and it's all your
I
responsibility.
had a team of family helping me as
I'll
well, and
bet.
friends, and lots of support from guide dogs. And
It's a heck of an experience.
It is. It's just wonderful. And they start off very easy to look after because Abby did it all. She just fed them and lay with them and cleaned them up, and I was just looking after her, really. It's only the second sort of 4 weeks that is
They
a
start
little bit hectic,
yeah.
it is. But, you know.
But it's interesting,
worth
isn't it, that you've had to give up a puppy. You've had to give one back. And then you had to watch her give her
up her
puppies. back. What were the feelings?
I know, you'd think that she'd be really sad, but actually after 8 weeks, it's very natural for the mother to start to leave the puppies, and they've been weaned. She's ready for them to go. And on the day that they come in, we were allowed to then take her out for a walk. She hadn't been out for a walk during those periods because we want to keep away from infection. So puppies went off, we went for a walk. She didn't seem to remember. She was tired and she'd had another one.
Yeah,
so done, it's quite a lot, 8.
Incredible job she's done. And she's done it twice now, two litters.
Yes, yeah.
Will she do any more?
Oh, we're hoping next summer 1 more litter, and then she'll be 7 and she probably won't have any more after that.
And she'll retire from being
She will,
a mum.
but she will still be my dog.
Yeah. She'll stay with you forever.
Yes, I get first choice of looking after her, and I
You
definitely
must be
will.
intensely proud of her.
I am. She's a lovely, lovely girl. She's done so well. She's a super mum. Really looked after her puppies beautifully and made it very easy for me.
Things have come a long way since those days in 1931 when those first 4 guide dogs kicked off this whole business. And it's incredible because it's turned into a very sophisticated operation, breeding and training all of those puppies into wonderful, wonderful guide dogs that make such a difference to people's lives. One of the things we're always asked about is why sometimes they appear to have such odd names. I mean, today we met a Forest and an Autumn and an Abbey. Who chooses the names? Well, you do, apparently. People can pay and sponsor a puppy, and that's why you get to have a guide dog with your name or your chosen name on it for life. And that dog, of course, is doing a remarkable thing. In fact, it's amazing. We were just talking to Jane with Abby and learning that her grandchildren are here at the moment. Well, we saw them earlier in the whelping block. There are the little black and golden ones. They're leaping all over each other on the pink sofa. It is an extraordinary business here, and it is worldwide and a world leader. But at the heart of it all is the relationship between a human being and a much-loved dog. A well-trained dog. And that's what life is all about, isn't it? I do hope you've enjoyed meeting them. I'm Anne Diamond, this is Viking TV, and I'll see you again soon.